I learned a lot about matches last night. Well, not even matches, just I was just kind of like in awe of how my brain works and how it's so different from my significant others. Um, I use so many different phrases. I'll use like significant other, partner, fiance, blah 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 blah, whatever. Um, but yeah, so actually this candle is about to be done. I guess that's just because I burn it a lot. Um, but I had an interesting lesson about matches. I think I talked about in a different video how frustrating it was to realize that I thought I had to use these specific matches in this container. Um, it turns out that's not necessarily true. It's that there are um, so these matches, like in a matchbook, have the activator is one element of activator is on the what would you call that? The flint strip. That's what I would call it. Flint strip, I guess. And then another activator is on the match itself. And then this is just, I don't know. I guess this is a rough surface, and then both chemical activators or whatever are in the match itself. But I don't feel like, I guess maybe any stone, like rough stone that has enough grip or grit to be able to ignite the match. But I probably would never have thought of that. Maybe if I really tried and thought for a while, I would have gotten there, but I probably wouldn't have thought of that. And yeah, I think when you, different people think differently, and I have a liberal arts degree for my undergrad, and even now working on my master's in I guess that's human development. That's a human development discipline, school, whatever you want to call it, but it still feels pretty liberal arts. I just feel like I haven't disciplined myself to think like tactically like that. So I just wouldn't have even got there. I probably wouldn't have even thought to, if I hadn't had that conversation, I probably would have gone directly to the people I bought it from and been like, "Do I just need to keep buying matches from you now?" And they probably would have said yes because that's great business. So I just think that's just a funny tidbit to start this conversation. So my Substack links to my Instagram, so I feel like I can pretty freely talk about Instagram. I just posted a whole series this morning. So a few, like maybe a month ago or maybe 2 months ago, I started this thing called content consumption. Basically, I just want to be able to have more dialogue and processing of everything I'm consuming and what it means to me, because I feel like it's really easy to berate ourselves for stimming or overusing or overengaging in technology and listening and all these things. It's really easy to kind of like berate that or make it, yeah, to the point of stimming. Like, I think I feel like I can hear that being used in this negative way of, oh, being overly stimmed or needing to de-stim because to not listen to things. And that approach just has never worked for me. I so I lost about 100 pounds at one point in my life. So from my sophomore year of high school to my sophomore year, no, I'll say my junior year of high school. My junior year of high school to my sophomore year of college, there was a 100-pound difference. I lost 100 pounds. And in order to do that, in order to be someone who loses 100 pounds, that's essentially you could lose an adult person. That's a lot of weight to lose. I had to really think about how to discipline myself and how to have willpower, like discipline, willpower, all these different things. But more than that, people love to say that it's not about motivation, but it is about motivation, because you don't get to the point of discipline, you don't get to the point of willpower without motivation and understanding what motivates your behavior, because motivation is also what is related to change. So in order to change your behavior, you have to know what is working to continue motivating you to do the thing that you want to do. And for me, I just realized that the like a mindset of restriction, especially in the motivation phase or the getting like the upfront phase, that did not work for me. So for example, um, saying I'm not going to eat this thing because it's bad for me and it's high in calories. Saying I'm not going to eat that because it's high in calories or it's bad for me or whatever wouldn't work for me. Saying I'm going to eat this because it's good for me and has good nutrients and it is, me doing something good for myself, that positive angle, that positive trajectory is what always worked for me to actually change my behavior in the direction to what I wanted to do. The negative of you can't eat because you need to lose weight never worked for me. The you're happy because you've put good food into your body and you're okay, that mindset always worked for me. So and similar I think with exercise, like the guiding narrative of I need to exercise because if I don't I'm going to lose weight, or if I need to exercise because if I don't this, never worked for me. The mindset of I get to go take the time for myself to care for myself and honor my health and think of it as like the investment into my longevity and my health did work for me. So I think that there is a parallel there to digital behavior and saying like I need to de-stim, or I need to not listen to so much of this or not listen to that so much of that. That mindset, similar with weight loss and similar with food and all these things, has never worked for me. A mindset of replacement or reframing has always worked for me. So doing a meta analysis or a meta share of what is filling my cup, what I am doing and using, sort of similar to like eating my vegetables. It's kind of like it makes it like I'm going to enjoy and appreciate the good things that come from this and really lean into what I care about and what I want to speak to, rather than berating myself for scrolling too long. How do we kind of reframe and replace it with the good part? That has always worked for me, and I have to say that this approach to using social media and really getting excited about what I love is working for me. I'm having a lot of fun. I feel like it's opening up a lot in terms of me feeling connection and also feeling like the spirit of the internet, what it was originally created to do, to bring people together and to feel connection and whatnot, is there. So yeah, I mean, I also think that really, cliche misery loves company is very true. That, yeah, like misery loves company, and there are people who just want to find the negative in everything and don't want to enjoy life and don't want to take care of themselves and are more comfortable operating within negativity and out of abundance. And when I think about me at my best, I'm always coming from a place of like wanting to embrace my source of abundance and my feeling of abundance and fullness and joy. I'm thinking of, along with that, like I had a big reflection on the word like happiness. I had someone, I won't get into specifics, but I had someone say, like, I was unhappy in some circumstance, and someone was saying, I want you to be happy. I want you to be happy. And I guess like that just makes my brain completely shut off, because I don't think of happiness as a state to attain. I think of happiness as like a little thing might make me happy, or something might make me happy in a passing way. But I don't think of happiness as what that person was really getting to, which is like contentment and satisfaction and joy. Those are different. Those to me feel very, very different. And contentment and satisfaction require work. And if you are anybody who suffers from any sort of mental illness that has a depression component to it, most mental illnesses do, the work of contentment and the work of satisfaction is much harder, and happiness and feeling imposed upon to experience happiness doesn't make it easier to get to that state of contentment and satisfaction and appreciation and being able to like experience joy and gratitude. Yeah, feeling imposed upon to be happy is like the worst thing that I feel like when I'm in a bad headspace and kind of working through things. That's one of the worst things for me to hear. So I think I will start talking more about music on here and maybe even trying to make intentional videos exploring um, music. I think I might try to make some sort of compilation of my Kendrick Lamar video. I think that could be very fun and interesting to kind of like take the footage of that in the moment listening and reaction and then put it together with um, some more thoughtful reflection and commentary and then put that together and maybe make a series out of that because the ideas in Kendrick Lamar's, I think like this topic of masculinity in the arts is really fascinating to me, and just interesting to reflect on, especially within hip hop, but certain areas, because I think that art calls us to feel deeply and express deeply, and I just always think it's interesting, kind of like how to hear like a really masculine experience, especially like Kendrick Lamar. You can kind of watch his progression and listen to that. So, anyway, maybe that is to come